So the title of the dissertation is The Opportunities and Barriers of Implementing Virtual Reality into Higher Education in Universities. The reason that I chose this project was mainly because I believe that virtual reality is a new um, form of technology which is still not not used in many aspects. I believe that the educational field particularly will benefit a lot from virtual reality. The research objective for this project is to see if it's possible to use virtual reality as a teaching method to eventually bring it into educational facilities like universities or higher education, and over time pass that on to all educational systems. But that's mainly the big idea. For now, it's a starting process, a step by step function. The objective for this project is to gather information about virtual reality because it's a new form of technology, and see the benefits and disadvantages to it. The main priority would be the safety of virtual reality to see if it is if you could use it for um, as a form of education, as education impacts a lot of people's lives, so it needs to be regulated and qualified people will have to use it. Um, there's a lot of steps that are going to go into this research. Statistics and results will be collected and included to see if the idea is possible the way it was envisioned and planned. The type of data that will be collected will be a mix of different things, such as key evidence, so statistics that's been gathered from secondary data over the years, but also primary data, which will be gathered via questionnaires and interviews, face-to-face interviews. Um, the questionnaire will consist around 12 to 15 questions, and will be straight to the point so people can quickly um, gather can quickly think of the answers and um, answer the questions. Um, also, the yeah. So the aims and objectives of this project. The aim for this project is to evaluate the feasibility, opportunities, and barriers of implementing this new educational process um, of virtual reality into universities and higher education. To do this, the creator has to evaluate and create the feasibility of the project. He will have to conduct a literature review with the correct sources, articles, blogs, books, um, whatever he can get that helps evaluate the project. This will be conducted via secondary research. Um, Also, primary research will be done, which will be questionnaires to get a broader aspect from people's opinions, but also face-to-face interviews to get a more personal um, opinions of the project from a few individuals. The objective to do this is firstly, like I said, to gather information about virtual reality as it's a new form of technology. Check the safety measures to see if it's safe as it's a new form of education and will impact a lot of people's lives. So the adequate training plans and different forms of safety will need to be reviewed and provided. Evaluate statistics to form proper results. So anything gathered from the questionnaires or the interviews will need to be evaluated, reviewed, and put into a proper table or graph or whatever is needed to present the data. And creating a final project plan to evaluate everything overall with a conclusion. For the secondary data, there was a few different research carried out. First one's being the market itself with research in two different types of marketing. one being where companies leverage VR as incentive, and the other one using it, companies using VR to give a virtual experience. There's also been a lot of companies that have collaborated with VR to boost their actual business. Um, Market growth, there's been a large market growth with a growth of 15% over the next 10-year period. Virtual reality has always been big in the market and will continue to grow. Um, the primary research. The primary research that was conducted, it was conducted with a lot of research analysis, and everything was gathered and put together in different formats. The primary research that was conducted has two different sections. One being the questionnaire that was created and sent out to a bunch of different people via social media, website, but mainly to students, students who have finished the degree or started their degree, or less than that, could be GCSE. The other being interviews, which was mainly given to class members, so students who are studying a technology degree, um, and they will give a more direct response than compared to the questionnaire, which will be more broad. The questionnaire has around 12 questions and has received a total of 38 responses in total. All the questions and answers in the questionnaire findings will be presented in a statistical format, so it'll be easy to comprehend with the vast amount of data that was collected. And also the interviews that took place was to get a more direct opinion from students who are studying a technology degree, so who know a thing or two about technology and what it's about. Um, so they would, if the project does go ahead, they will be the ones that will be using it in the future. The interviews that took place were in the interviewee's own time, so it doesn't get in the way of their own timetables or studies. There was around 4 interviews all in total that took place, with around 10 to 15 direct questions that were asked, similar to the questionnaire, but slightly different, so the interview could answer with more detail if needed. So the project plan. The project will start in a single university to analyze its succession, starting in the technology departments, where 3 classes will take a day out of the normal teaching week and be taught by the teacher VR, but with VR for an hour or two. There will be 2 headset brands that will be purchased, with 3 MetaQuest 2 Oculus headsets, which are the most expensive in the market, which will cost altogether around 1,049 pounds for only the teachers to use. Um, and there will be 90 B Next headsets, which will cost altogether £2,699 for only the students to use, um, which will involve 3 different classes. So the overall price for all the headsets will cost £3,724. And this will create the best experience for both teachers and students. Safety and security will be one of the main priorities of the project. There will be guidelines and safety precautions all planned out, which the university administration will take care of. Um, yeah. So in conclusion, this project was created to see if it was possible for students to have a new and improved way of learning that they have never experienced before. That will give them the fundamentals to start their next chapter of their lives, and um, and for them to gain experience to go out into the real world and start their careers. I believe that the project research was a success. Each objective and aim has been successfully concluded, and I do believe that this project will be successful in the future.